you'll be able to see what I'm showing you. Remember, we come to our lessons, we want to be focused. A couple things. The first one, I went to groundhog.org when I got here this morning, and I was sad because Phil saw his shadow, and it says 6 more weeks of winter. And I was like, man, not my favorite. So that was not anything that made me very happy. And it says, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Now this 2nd day of February, 2021, the 135th annual trek of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club. Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, the prognosticator of all prognosticators, was awakened from his burrow at 7:25 a.m. by his handler and friend on this quiet morning where few can attend. In Groundhogese, Phil directed the president and the inner circle to his prediction scroll that reads, "It is a beautiful morning, this I can see, with all my fans viewing virtually, with my faithful followers being safe and secure. Our tradition of Groundhog Day must endure. We all have passed through the darkness of night, but now see hope of morning's bright light. When I turn to see, there is a perfect shadow cast of me. 6 more weeks of winter there will be." So Phil is saying we're having more winter. I say boo. But I thought about something today when I was getting ready to talk to you about weather and weather tools. And it was Google Earth. And I don't know if some of you may already know of this, and if you do, great. But you can go to Google Earth on your computers or your iPads, and you launch Google Earth. And when you launch it, it brings up the Earth. Satellites have taken pictures of pretty much every place on Earth. And I started thinking about how we have weather here in Indiana, but you know, on the equator, they have different weather from us. And also at the North Pole and the South Pole, they have different weather from us. And so I was like, I wonder if we could possibly look at some of those places on Google Earth. So I thought we could try it together. Let me go ahead and admit it. Now, I was playing with it over a little spell, and when I did, this is... I'm sorry, what'd you say? Was somebody talking to me? I can't see you, so. Okay, well.
I looked on where you can get apps. I didn't see Google Earth.
Well, Google Earth is something you'd have to do with your family, and you might be able to do on your iPad. The first place I wanted to show you is I was just messing with it a little bit, and this is actually where I live right here. You guys hear me talk about where I live. Now, I think this is before I moved there, though, because when I'm looking at this picture, there are things in this picture that I don't know. Well, maybe this is mine. Actually, this is after I moved there, because do you see all these bushes here by the road? I planted those, so I guess this is after I lived there. So this is where Miss Fraze lives. This area right here and a little bit of the woods, that's the property that I own. It starts right about there and goes over. Hold on a second, gotta let more people in. So when I say that I live in the country by myself, you can see that that's true. Over here are my nearest neighbors, the Florys, and I can walk there and I can see their house, but this is my house that burned. So this house is not here anymore. This is my driveway. I I don't know what these things here are. You know, actually I do. I think, oh, I know. One summer I laid down some things and made a small garden bed here, and it didn't work out, but that's been years ago. So they must have taken this the year that I had the garden start right here. And then over here I have another small garden, and then this is a pen, like a animal pen, like for goats. And then I have some gardens over here, and my chicken house is in these trees. But then behind me, if I walk this little path I have made, there's this huge field that belongs to my neighbor Tanner. So the neighbors on my road are farmers. I'm trying to widen that out. So you can see there are all these fields, like across from my house there's a field. And over here, these are a field, this is a field, and then there are some more neighbors. Like this is my neighbor Tanner, but you can see he's pretty far away from me. I can't see his house unless I walk that path and go up. And then I have this little path, I have a path here. So these are all trees. So this is where I live. I looked it up and I thought I'd share it with you. And then this is the road. And then I thought, well, let's see, can we pull up Antarctica? And I don't really know, but I thought we could try it together. Oh, look, Antarctica. What happens when I click on Antarctica? Then the satellites go all the way back out, and you can see the Earth, and it's spinning. Ah, there it is. So here, this is Antarctica, right? So maybe if I click on it, it'll zoom in. So you can click on it. And you saw that in my picture, it was probably summer because it's very green. Maybe spring, but I'm guessing summer. So this is Antarctica. See all that snow on the continent? And all the way around Antarctica, you have oceans. So all of this is ocean. But you can see the weather on Antarctica. And I thought, well, I wonder if the equator, if I search that, because we know that the equator has warm weather. I don't know if it will come up. Well, no, it just brings up a company that has something to do with equator design. Let's try again. Let's look for the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is a desert that's not too far from the equator, and it's pretty hot. And I know that it's here because I've looked it up. It's in Africa. But you can kind of see what the Sahara Desert will look like. So it's leaving the United States. And looky here, this is the desert. So if I click and go in, I can click and make it go closer. I thought I could anyway. Oh, it's just taking it a little time to load. But you see, this is Egypt, Sudan, Chad, Niger, Algeria, Libya. These are other countries. But if I keep clicking and go in a little closer, or maybe I need to do this. There we go. It's just a little slow. But you can see it looks hot and sandy there, doesn't it? So let's see if we can try the North Pole, maybe. Now, we aren't really going to know the weather of places exactly. Oh, this is Santa Claus, Indiana. Sorry, wrong one. I don't know if it'll let me pull up the North Pole on the globe, just the geographical North Pole. But I just thought it would be neat to share this with you because I enjoy looking for it or looking at different things, and sometimes you can get an idea of what the weather is like in those places. Now where we are, sorry, it's being difficult right now. slow. Where we are right now, we have different seasons, but some places don't. So here's the polar sea ice coverage. So maybe we can go up to the polar ice caps. So it's leaving, and it's going to go there. So we're going to try to get to the Arctic this way. It's not moving there. It's a little slow on my end of things. So it may not go to that. I don't think it's going to take us there. Let's try something else. I'll try searching for the Arctic Ocean. There we go. So the Arctic Ocean is the north, and they have the polar bears and the ice flows, and it's not going to go there. Yeah, unfortunately, it's been a little difficult. Let's try Rogers Elementary. I can show you where we go to, where our school is, maybe. If I can type. There, Rogers Elementary School, Bloomington, Indiana. Let's see if it works. There we go. So here's Bloomington, Indiana, and this is Rogers Elementary right here.
Miss Faith?
Yes?
It's Scarlett talking, and I wonder if we tried seeing my house, it will really work.
It would. You'll have to do that with your family sometime, won't you? It looks like this picture is fairly, sorry, my fingers, I'm not used to using a Macintosh. So when I do this, when I look at it, it looks like this picture is kind of, well, newish. Sorry. I'll go back. I've lost track of it. It's a newish picture because the playground changes look to be somewhat in place. So anyway, I wanted to share the Google Earth thing with you guys because I thought that you guys might enjoy looking at different parts of the planet and seeing how weather affects the way they look from space. For example, Antarctica, and if you can get the Arctic to load, those places will look white and icy from space because they are snowy and icy places all year round. Now, if they had taken the picture at my house in the winter, it could have been icy, but it looks like they took it during the summer. So it does depend on what time of year, unless it's a place that has weather that's the same all the time. Yes, Josie.
What are we going to do with the worksheet?
I'm going to tell you here in a little bit, okay? So the other day, I had a story that was, well, it wasn't a story, it was an informational text from Gail Gibbons that talked about weather forecasting. And some of you might watch the news with your families, and they have weather forecasters. And those are the people who, oh, Luke say, no, I don't. Well, you'll have to, Luke. You'll have to watch it one night and see if you can see the weatherman or weatherwoman. But what they do is they tell the weather. And then there are people who work in weather spaces, weather centers, and they collect information and they keep track of things. And when they do that, they put it into a record. And then if I wanted to, I could go on the internet and I could say, what was the weather like on April 5th, 1974, which is the day I was born. And then I could see what the weather was for that day because they keep track of it. And they use different tools. So weather people use different tools. One of the tools that they use is a thermometer, and I have my thermometer here. So this is my thermometer, and it tells me what the temperature is. So on this thermometer, there are two different kinds of temperatures. Some countries use Celsius, that starts with a soft C, and the United States, we tell our temperatures in Fahrenheit, and that is on this side. So inside, on the back, you can see it. There's this little round spot with all this red stuff called mercury in it. And the hotter it gets, the mercury starts to rise or go up. And when the mercury rises, it tells you what temperature it is. And I doubt you're going to see very well, but if I turn it, you can see where the red is all the way up to here, right? So if I look there, it is 74 degrees in our classroom. 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So your moms and dads might have a thermometer around your house that tells you what the temperature is. Now, the thermometer starts at -40. That means 40 degrees below zero. Because there's 0 degrees and there's below 0 or less than 0 degrees, which sounds crazy, and we don't get there very often, but boy, is it cold, and in a few days, we're going to be below 0. So we have 0 degrees, and then there's a line here for 10 degrees, 20, a line for 30, a line for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120 degrees. Now, usually in the winter, we know that when it's 32 degrees or less, it can snow, because 32 degrees is the temperature you need to turn a liquid water into a solid, like ice or snow. So a thermometer is a tool, and it helps us know how hot or how cold it is. And you guys need that information, because if you're going to be going outside or going somewhere, you need to know what kind of clothing you should wear. Should you wear gloves and a hat? Do you need to have a thick coat or a light jacket? Short sleeves or long sleeves? Should Artur put on his bathing suit and go outside today? Probably not, right, Artur? You would freeze. So it's good to know what the temperature is. Other things that are part of weather are the wind. I showed you this morning that in the weather, it told us that the wind was out of the northwest, wasn't it? It told us where the wind was blowing from. Now, if the wind is blowing at me like this, my hair is going to go back like this, right? So if I'm looking where the wind is blowing, it's going to make my hair blow out, right? But if I'm standing here and the wind's blowing like this, my hair will go this way. If I'm standing here and the hair's blowing at my back, my hair's going to go this way. So one way you can figure out which way the wind is blowing is you can use a windsock. Now, some of you have maybe seen these, or maybe your family has them hanging in the yard. They can be round or whatever. They're like little flags that have little tails, and you hang it, and when the wind blows, whichever way the wind is blowing, your windsock will blow out. So does anybody have a windsock or a flag that they can look at to see which way the wind is blowing? Raise your hand if you do. Let's see, anybody have one of those? No? Oh, okay. Well, it's nice to know which way the wind is coming from, because then you can know which way the weather's blowing in from. And then finally, another weather tool is a rain gauge. And a rain gauge, you stick it in your yard, and when it rains, it fills it up, and then you can look and see how much rain you got. If I plant a new fruit tree, my tree needs to get so much rain a day or so many inches of rain a week. And so I would use a rain gauge to check to see how much rain we've gotten. And that way I know if I need to carry water to my tree, because I don't want my tree to die because it doesn't get enough rain. And so sometimes people will put out a rain gauge so they can keep track of how much rain they've gotten. If you go out to your rain gauge and it's empty, you haven't gotten any rain. If you got a big rain, you might go out there and your rain gauge is full. Then you can read it and see how many inches. So it has sort of a ruler on it, like 1 inch of rain, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches of rain. So rain gauges are really important. Below here, I have included 2 videos today. One tells you about weather. The second one shows you how you can make your own rain gauge. I'm sure you probably have thermometers in your house somewhere you could ask your family about. And I bet you could come up with a way to make your own windsock. Sometimes what I would do is just take a little piece of material and put it on a stick and set it outside, and I can watch which way it blows. Or a ribbon is a really good thing you could use for a wind sock. Now, this paper, we're only going to talk about this side today. You guys are going to graph the weather for the rest of February. So I'm going to write on top my name, April. April's.
Miss Faith, what sign is this one?
This one, honey, right here. Write your name on the line, April's weather graph, weather bar graph. Okay? So you write your name here, and it's on the bottom. This is the title of the graph, and on the bottom it shows different kinds of weather. There's rainy, stormy with lightning and thunder, cloudy, sunny, windy, and snowy. If you look outside right now, what kind of weather do we have? Who'd like to tell me? Luke, what kind of weather is there out there?
Snowy.
Is it
Sunny.
Hey, that's
Sunny.
hot. Now, we have snow on the ground, don't we, Luke, right? But that's actually not today's weather. That was weather from the past, right? It's not snowing right now, is it?
Sunny.
Okay. Now, but is it sunny or is it kind of cloudy and sunny? It seems to me
Cloudy, sunny.
yeah, I think we're going to call it cloudy though, because it's more cloudy in the sky. Isn't it more cloudy than sunny? Oh, you think it's more sunny? Well, let me look. It's cloudy, you guys. If you look outside, you can see some sun, but it's more cloudy in the sky than sunny. The sky does not look blue at all. So I'm going to find cloudy, and I'm going to color in one box for cloudy today. And that's today's weather. And then I need to put this somewhere safe because we're going to color in one box for the weather every day for the rest of February, okay? And that way, at the end of the month, we can look at our graphs and find out which weather we have most often in February. So you guys want to put this somewhere safe where you can find it. If you can hang it on your wall or put it in a folder or something somewhere, and then you can come back and check it the next day and add another colored box. So for example, tomorrow, if it's sunny, we would color a sunny one. If it was really windy, we'd color a windy one. If it snows, we'll color the snowy one. So you want to keep this somewhere safe so we can fill it in every single day. Okay? Now we'll do the back of this another day, so don't lose the back of it too. because on the back we get to draw a picture of each type of weather. So we're going to draw what it looks like when it's snowy, rainy, sunny, cloudy, stormy, and windy. So just leave that blank for now. All right. Are there any questions from my friends? No? Okay, I'm going to call on some hands. And don't forget there are 2 videos. 1 second, please. I have a bunch of hands. I'm going to call on the hands first. Don't forget.
Question.
Okay, but I'm calling on the hands real quick, okay? Because there are a bunch of them. Don't forget that, what was I trying to say? Oh, well, forget it. If I think of it, I'll remember. All right, Matei, what were you wanting to say or ask?
Do we color in 1 box a day?
That's right. 1 box per day.
But what if I see more? Like I see some trees and leaves are moving.
Yeah, you might see a very faint wind, but it's super, super windy. Is it more windy than cloudy? Or would it be more cloudy than windy? It's pretty much, the clouds are the main feature of today's weather. But you're right, Matei. A lot of things go into the weather. But for our graph, one that the main thing. We got people talking over Matei and I. Okay, I'm calling on hands. That's the only fair way, okay? All right, so Matei, did that answer your question?
Yes.
All right, good. If you need to log off, you can. All right, Miss. Hi, Haley, what did you want to say or ask?
I accidentally cut off the weather.
Oh, you cut off the weather? That's okay. Do you want me to email you a copy of it?
Yes, please.
Yes, I'll find
I'm
it.
sorry.
It may take me a little bit to find the exact one, but I'll send it right over as soon as I can.
Thanks, Miss Race.
No problem. Zoa. Zoa, honey, I can hear you.